We begin this journey from the eastern side of Fort Portal on the new Bundubujo-Lamia Road. As you ascend the hills of Musandama about to get into town, you are marveled by the natural beauty of Mother Nature. This mountain that shadows the town also provides it with a moderate temperature and cool environment. I start from this side to get a feel of how it would be like to get into town from the Congolese side of the border through Bundubujo and into Roko. The serenity of these mountains is only interrupted by the sound of the roaring streams down the valley with their cold and crystal clear water on an unending journey that has continued for millions of years. Here, you will see vehicles carrying tourists gliding down in a constant flow day and night as lorries carrying cocoa produce come up from down the Semliki Valley in this meandering road. And it's not just the foreign tourists enjoying this beautiful scenery. Ugandans too are slowly getting into local tourism. As we get closer, you cannot avoid King Oyo's palace. Built on the highest hill in the center of Fort Portal, the location alone gives it that majestic and grandeur touch that accompanies royalty. We are beckoned by this sight, and my colleagues say we must conquer the hill by walking up there. It turns out to be a better way of starting the trip, beginning by learning the norms and culture of the Batoro. The man in charge of palace affairs is also giving a tour guide of the palace, accompanied with a lecture of the ancient kingdom of Kitara that stretched from Karuma to eastern DRC, northern Tanzania, and parts of Rwanda. Dr. Muhumuza is a son of the soil, and he has been here several times, but that does not stop him from returning again and again. So I asked him to introduce his town.
My name is Muhumuza Habat Atenyi. I come from Fort Portal, a very clean town, very friendly people. Everyone knows you. You just feel loved even when no one says a word. That's my town.
Many have testified about the cleanliness of Fort Portal, and so I attempt to meet the people who make it happen. Asimwe Stephen is one of them. I find him in the trenches bent at work. Despite the lack of protective gear, Stephen and his colleagues who are scattered around are municipal employees who love their job. This lawn between Baria and Kasese Road is meticulously clean even on a Saturday. Stephen and his colleagues have had to come and pick litter. Fort Portal derives its name from Major Sir Gerard Portal, a British military officer whose statue stands overlooking the town with that imperial pose. Some people say that actually Gerard Portal never set foot on this town. There are only two learning institutions in Uganda that claim to be the only schools: Ntare in Imbarara and Nyakasura School here in Fort Portal.
There is that spirit that you gain from Nyakasura School. Whenever you are a student of Nyakasura, you always live, wherever you go, you really feel the glory of the school is all around you.
And there goes the commander. We later catch up with them at St. Leo's. All the Scripture Union members within Fort Portal schools are here. It's going to be a Saturday of praise and worship. For non-members at this school, there is an excitement. The girls are here. We leave the students and return to town as we scatter around the municipality through Vilika Cathedral, built in the 60s to withstand an earthquake of over 8.0 on the Richter scale. It is an architectural marvel. We now head to Kyaninga, about 8 kilometers north of Fort Portal. There is an ideal place for honeymoon. A local resident tells me that if you are planning to divorce, don't visit with your spouse because you will fall in love again. Some tourists have come here, and before long, this becomes home. It has happened to the proprietor of Kyaninga Lodge, and Matthew, the manager, and many more before them.
It seems to happen. It seems to be a good place for people to get stuck. That's what happened with Steve, the owner. He came here with a backpack to see the gorillas and got stuck.
And then Matthew got stuck.
And then Matthew got stuck as well, yes.
If you had been here maybe a few months ago, this was probably just a bush. But now Fort Portal and the joining areas are changing for better, with such developments coming in. And now Ugandans from other towns are always coming here on weekends to unwind because of the beauty and the serenity of this area. Before I leave Fort Portal, I head to the ultimate place, the legendary Mountains of the Moon. It kind of gives you a warm embrace from both the people and the place. Built as part of the former chain of Uganda hotels, William Byaruhanga has transformed it to this breathtaking level. The leaders want to turn this town into a city with their slogan, Nikisoboka. It's possible.
So Nikisoboka is all about inculcating that culture of hope, culture of hard work, culture of thinking big and working together as a people.
As a blanket of cold mist covers Fort Portal on a Sunday morning, I reluctantly head for Kampala. The tour of my hometown is over. I'm Patrick Kamara.